Good afternoon, everyone. Brendan from Starpoint, Australis, here with your Tuesday weekly update, the week that was. Well, we have had some fun this week, and running a small business, I tell you now, I thought that it would be relatively easy, and once I get one thing done, then it'll be easy enough to move on to the next. Well, it never is easy, but hey, I learn things all the time, which is fantastic. So, come Friday our time, which is Thursday in America, our lovely courier, last mile courier to the warehouse, decided to try and deliver our stock of the Octans and Phoenix to a random warehouse. It was nearby, but it wasn't the right one. Thankfully, that warehouse rejected the order because they didn't know who it was and where they were coming from, so they rejected it. But it took me until Sunday afternoon to find, and Sunday afternoon, that's our time, so Saturday for the US. It took me till Sunday afternoon, my time, to find out that the stock had been not delivered like I was being told, but it was a failed delivery. So we've finalised and got the right address details because someone had misput the address down, and that should be in the US time. It will be there on the Tuesday between 9 and 3. So once that happens, I will know straight away, probably around about 6 a.m. in the morning in Australia, and then we can get the show on the road. They will be going out this coming week. I can't see any other foreseeables that could fall over, but stranger things have happened. So that's the update for the Octans and the Phoenix. They are in the US. They failed delivery. We're re-delivering this Tuesday, and then we can get on with it. So they should be out this week, thankfully. So, update on the other little goings on that Brendan gets into. So I was able to make it into the workshop this weekend. I had a few different components to build and finalize out, but this one here has been one of the main things that we've been dealing with. So you can see it's got the extension up the top here. That's so that we can house the Paracorr 3-inch corrector. That Paracorr 3-inch corrector is nearly 130 mil, or in American terms about 5.2 inches long. I don't want that obviously sitting into the tube, so we've got it sitting out here. And this is to a QHY 268, so it's M54 on the back here. The camera will directly connect onto that with the off-axis guider. And then at the top, I'll bring this a bit closer for you. So M54 on the back, really ultra low profile. I've only got about 3 mil to work with here. That's the M82 for the Starpoint SP3. And then this little one in here, which is a M73.5. It's a real odd number, but I'd say it's imperial based. But M73.5 by 0.75 mil thread. So that's ready to go. The Paracorr then sits on its own. We don't actually put any weight on it, so it only has to support its own weight, and then the adapter takes the rest of it. So adapter's all done. Starpoint focuser's pretty much ready to go. Won't be this one. This is only my fitment version so that I know that it works. So it slides on in there, and then the Paracorr sits probably about 5 to 10 mil inside the focuser system in here. We've got the Starpoint, so this is all handmade carbon fiber. I've just sat it here so that I can start figuring out what kind of sizes and where it sits roughly, because it's all a question, right, about where the secondary is, and it all also comes down to, like this pattern that's on the top where you do all your collimation. So I like to use and align to the focuser so that you've got these two here, which is your left and right, so you can see the tilt moving side to side, and then you've got the one at the back here which moves the mirror backwards and forwards towards the focuser and away from the focuser. So it makes it a little bit easier for the user when collimating. Nice big thumb grips to tighten up and get everything ready. And I mean, you've got to have a look at this. This is all carbon fiber. So handmade carbon fiber stalk. Inside the stalk there is a stainless steel, like where we put the screw, the central bolt. That's obvious reasons that it needs to be strong. All of the vanes here are 0.9 mil, so ultra fine vanes. So once we get going, you'll see the diffraction spikes will be really fine and faint, which is good. So they're there, but they're not obtrusive. And then all of the carbon fiber here is all clamped together. So you can see, probably see just there, they've got the screws that clamp on that side and then the screws that clamp onto this side here. So it's all locked in and loaded, and it can hold a tremendous amount of load laterally, which only makes the whole secondary system more and more stable. So all I need to do with this now is just the final little touch up, sanding down, and then I'll put a matte coating over top of the secondary holder. I've got to blacken the edges of the mirror. It's 110 mil, I believe, secondary mirror, and away we go. So that's that. Now, all I need to do here is obviously, if I put this in place roughly for a center, that's about where the secondary mirror spider vane system will sit. That way then, I've just got to mark it, get it in the right spot, and then put some holes in. I'll need 4 holes radially around. Then mirror, and we're done. We're ready to go. So I'm pretty excited about that one. And then the last part to make this operational, you can't really see it here at the moment, but underneath here is the radial blocks. Now, I have spoken about this before, but you'll notice that the carbon fiber tube, so that's all carbon fiber. It's a 4.8 mil wall, which requires no rings. So unlike most Newtonians, you've got rings that hold it. No rings on this one. So, and it was a design choice to go that way. So pretty much ready to go. I've got some flocking paper, or flocking board I should say, locked in here. Just sitting it in place just to make sure it's all exactly how we need it. I'll have to do a little bit of cutting around here so that the focuser can come through. But yeah, keeping it not too far from getting done. So hopefully this weekend we will be testing that, because it's only Tuesday today, so I've only got a few more things to do, and then get out there and see what first light looks like. What else have we been up to? So last week I spoke about the RC weather system, and we took you through about what that looks like. We have now done the dusk cool down algorithm. I've done the off, so off, manual and auto. Auto is pretty cool. It literally will sit there and just monitor the situation, and as you go and get closer to dew point, it starts turning on the fans and ramping things up. And then as you get from it's a risk to prevention, it then starts bringing the fans right on. So I'll know when it's near dew point is when those fans are really singing. But it's pretty cool. Dan's been working on the firmware for this, and the first pass is going to be a little bit rough as like the UI and the layout, and then we'll start refining that. But at this moment it's about getting the information from the board up into the computer so we can start displaying it. So I'm really excited about that. Other than that, we've got this weekend is a long weekend, Australia Day here in Perth, or in Australia as total. So we've got, we're going to jump out to Tamman again and do a couple of nights out there. And then obviously the weekend after, or 2 weekends after, I'll be doing a little bit of astronomy with the Japanese contingent coming over. But other than that, we just keep on pushing on. Work in the background still happening for NEAF, the products that we're going to be bringing over and how that's all going to sit when we get there. But until then, hopefully wherever you are, it's clear skies and you can do some astronomy or whatever you would love to do with astronomy. And we'll talk to you next Tuesday.